Hello and welcome back to Downtime Activities, and welcome back to our Star Wars campaign, Artifacts of the Grey. We last left off with our star heroes. Most of you aren't heroes.
Space assholes.
Our space assholes, having just finished going to the library. It went not as well as they had hoped.
Where we continued to be space assholes.
Exactly.
Where we had
lived up to
Bernie's
reputation.
moment.
Yeah, it was all great. It was all exactly according to plan. However, one of you has been shot in the leg and the other is blind, and you've just arrived back at the ship to find out that something happened with one of the rocks, and Fremadayun Skuzanjo, your little green friend, has been stabbed, apparently. Who knows what that means? Maybe one of the two of you who is currently blind. The rest of you, having gotten some of the information you were looking for...
Pocketed the books.
Did you take the books with you?
Yeah, I put them in my backpack.
Okay, took the books with you, and we're heading back towards the ship. But to start with, we are going to be having, as far as people at this table that are players, just writing. You're on the ship and you just hear, I'm dying, man. And you can't see it. I was about to say.
Zendra's gonna have to tell me how bad it is. I can't see anything.
You'll be all right. I think our flare stringer egg.
The egg catch.
And then you hear the creature's locked in that room.
Thanks, Skull. I assume
Roger,
that was
Roger.
Skull. Or was that Nate?
You feel a clunk at eye level.
It's the classic that Nate like manipulated the environment to be able to go take 3 steps to your left and punch. And knocks it into the open storage room that closes.
I mean, I'm not gonna be any help in dealing with this thing.
He's like, gosh. Well,
do you think you can handle it, Skull, or do we need to?
Roger.
Let's close.
Let's close.
I was about to say, let's close the ramp.
I told him to lock it down. No way anyone could handle that, man. I had him 1-to-1, and I couldn't even stand a chance.
We killed the queen one of these things back on its home world, so...
I think this was probably bigger than the queen one.
Good old skis.
Right. I was about to say, let's lock down the ramp, but I don't care if this thing escapes off of the ship.
It's gonna freeze to death when it gets off the ship.
That's this planet's problem.
That's right.
Oh, God.
How do these things reproduce? Hopefully with another one of these things. Hopefully not that one type of frog that can swap its genders and fertilize its own eggs.
This was a real xenomorph problem. Yes, we agree.
We're just waiting for the face huggers to
Zadras will be like, I think we'll keep it locked in there. We'll wait till everyone's back, and we'll decide what's best to do.
That's fine, but I think these things can kind of burrow through metal.
Oh, that's alright. I have a strong feeling that if I wait for Flopsy to get back, that she's gonna not want me to kill it.
It's probably best if the rock has just gone missing.
But I don't want her to, search around the planet. I don't lie to them well.
Oh, are you saying you lie to me well?
I don't lie to my friends well.
Also
not true.
I think I'm glaring in his general direction.
You're high and to the left, but you don't know that.
We should also roll for guessing points.
Let's get some doses.
Before.
A dark side.
I think we should just scrap the whole ship, man, and just take the other one.
Light side.
One light side, what'd you say?
Dark side.
One dark.
Because that's all I
One
ever
dark.
roll.
One dark.
One dark.
Light.
What?
Light.
One light. So, 2 light, 3 dark. Reasonably.
I sure didn't get a double light square.
No, single from each of you. That's
Statistically unlikely.
probably. I don't
I'm
know.
just worried that if Flopsy comes back, she's gonna want to adopt it.
Yeah.
Just send Skull.
I think that's why. That's
You're
why
not
I'm in
here.
favor. Let's just do this one.
We're on our trek back.
Scooz will be like,
Well, since you're back here, I guess you and I can be co-in charge. Let's have a discussion. Why do you think we should kill it? Or try?
Let me put it this way, Scoos. I think I'm looking in this direction.
Down here.
I feel around until I find him, and then I haul him up to eye level.
He's clearly, like, laying down dramatically when you find him. And it's very easy to scoop him up. He's very small.
Careful, man.
Let me put it this way. If you were dying from one of those things, you'd be dead already, so I think you'll be fine. Second off, these things can burrow through metal and their stingers glow red hot. If they scrap one of these ships, some of us, if not all of us, probably die here. I have been shot in the face. There's a very good chance there's a security response coming from that library. So, we're going to kill that thing before it causes any damage to the ship, and you're going to sit down and shut up. Is that alright?
You know, I've gotten some new intel. So, I order you to go in there and kill that bug.
Why is this? And I just drop it.
Whoa!
Drops. Zadra and Skull will walk over there, and for the sake of this thing is not that scary as a baby. We will make it more of a cinematic moment. You hear a lightsaber extend. You hear a door open. There's a blast, a slash, a skitter, a silence.
Both Zadra and Skull fall dead.
I hear Scoo's running away.
I told you!
Turns out it was
Tim the Sorcerer.
It was the rabbit of Kyranon. Turns out what it was.
It's the classic, rocks fall, everyone dies.
Well, I'm glad that's over. Now what do I do about my eyes?
Didn't one of the rebel guys have some medical ability?
Mm-hmm.
Let's wait for them to get back, and hopefully he can take a look at your eyes.
Didn't we have a
med-pack thing?
Yeah, like a field medic kit or something?
I thought that you had it, but it might be on Flopsy.
Most of what I got is explosives.
Why would I
You've
have
got whatever you wrote down.
Oh.
Because we found it in the worst medical facility in the galaxy.
Super cool rock.
We left with more wounds than
I'm
we
glad
arrived
that's on there. But, however...
It's not just in...
Nope, that's toughness.
It's not just in, like, her equipment. It's...
I'm not keeping track of y'all's inventory.
I know it's on
I got stim packs, that's all I got.
Right.
Yeah, I've already
I think
found
it basically would made it so that
it kind of, like, acted as a rank in the skill.
if you had no ranks in this
I have
in
8
medicine...
stem packs.
if you had no ranks in medicine, then it acted as you having one rank, I think
so.
Is basically what it did.
I have Dev's papers.
Yeah, we never get to figure out what the deal with that was.
You have Dev's phone number he had tucked in his pocket, basically.
I don't know if I want to call anybody Dev's been calling.
It's true.
I think it's the classic of, I thought you wrote that down.
Because I'm a merciful lord, you still have it. Write it down somewhere, and I'll figure out what it actually does. We'll assume it does what I said a second ago. Until then, is anyone wanting to try and use that, or are you wanting to wait for someone to come in?
I mean, it'd be Zadra using it. I ain't operating on my own eyes while blind.
Nate didn't get
He's reasonably intelligent, but does not have any ranks in medicine. It's a hard one. He would be slightly favored to be successful.
I mean, I don't think...
trust. He says, I've got some battlefield medical experience, but nothing far from a professional. If you trust me to do it, I'll try.
Yeah, I'll let him... I don't think he's going to make it any worse. I've been shot in the face.
2 success, 1 threat. So he is able to do it.
I can see out of one eye.
I don't know if that'll show up or not, but
I don't do
it
that.
might be quite.
We'll get copyright strike.
No, because we're doing it badly, so so it's
Game
fine.
time started.
Game time.
This is game time. You have no idea what the leaps and bounds are going here. Are you talking about Disney or baloney?
Disney is a cruel bitch.
Disney or Daphne? I hate you.
I like that you wore your Star Wars shirt for the Star Wars campaign.
I
feel like you do a lot of the time.
I do a lot of the time, and it wasn't intentional to. It was just the first shirt that was on top of my dresser.
Only wears stuff.
I like that you wasn't in your closet. That was scattered.
It's a military med pack, and it does exactly what we just thought it did.
Okay.
All right. So he's going to be able to apply some Bacta, and it's like a gauze wrap, and it'll probably take the rest of the evening for this to like soak and heal over. He says that it seems like a fairly superficial burn across your eyes, that this Bacta should heal fairly quickly.
Nice. That guy gave me laser eye surgery. I'll be able to see better than I did.
So you literally had laser eye surgery.
Literal laser eye surgery. And then the lot of you show up. You show up to see Zadra finishing tying a gauze strap to Raiden's eyes.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see my favorite rock.
Don't talk about seeing. Don't talk about rocks.
Do we see Scoos or do we hear
You
him?
walk in and he's no longer just going, oh, oh, oh. But you can see that he is kind of lounged back in a chair and seems to be holding a kind of back to gauze sponge thing up to his where his shoulder meets his chest, and he seems to be
Yeah, I know what happened to him. What happened to you?
You freaking rock, man. Stab me.
Rock.
Zadra's as some of us maybe assumed, the rock you brought back was a egg of one of those scorpions, the flare stingers, and we unfortunately had to kill it.
Oh, okay.
Do any of you guys have medical knowledge?
I do.
Do you want to make a roll on Zadra?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Wouldn't mind that. He shows you he's got a blaster wound to the leg, the good leg, not the ass kicking leg. And I
it would be a
believe
mechanics roll.
I believe it was a hard.
What a teacher's pet.
Let me see here.
Yeah,
It's my dad.
Yeah, it is hard.
Does he
Your
get
dad
any
literally
bonus from the
was
med
the
pack?
principal.
Or
He can't use that thing. He has.
I've got
ranks.
ranks into it.
He's got ranks. So it's 3 perps to try and heal it.
A success, 3 threat.
Okay. We'll say you're able to. Similarly, he's going to have to kind of keep it on a soak for the rest of the night and stuff, but you're able to apply some Bacta and stuff, and his leg will be able to work the following day.
Yeah.
Well,
let's get out of here.
What'd you find?
First things first, let's get off world. I don't want to spend any more time here than we absolutely necessary.
Fair enough.
And we'll just communicate over comms. So,
Yeah, where people can listen.
yeah.
So you guys are trying to get in ships, get off world?
Yep.
Go ahead and whoever's doing the piloting here, both of you give me average piloting space.
That'll be
Actually, yeah, piloting space.
It's the same either way for me, so that's fine.
2 success and an advantage.
Okay.
Average.
Is it you piloting or is it Zadra piloting?
Well, it's probably me since Zadra's got a bum leg.
Yeah, he says, I'll take the co-pilot seat for this ride. Take it easy.
Oh, only
Take
one
it slow.
advantage.
One advantage. Okay.
You're a big boy in the big boy seat.
Yeah, and I fucked it up.
Oh wait.
Uh-oh. I don't like that.
Forgot
Oh,
about
wait.
that.
Advanced skin.
You're on the
That's
gun.
lucky.
Please tell me that.
That's lucky. So, your ships are able to leave through. You seem to get past any planetary scanners. However, any of you on the Whisper, those scanners do pick up something. Those scanners pick up 2 fairly large ships in orbit of this world. And Zadra's going to kind of patch over and go on them, and he pulls up, and it's clearly registering 2 decent, one larger than the other, but it appears to be an Imperial Star Destroyer, as well as an Imperial reconnaissance frigate.
Yeah, great.
That are in orbit of this world. However, they seem to be fairly far across from this world, and you seem to be far enough away, barely, that the scanners on the reconnaissance frigate do not pick you up.
They probably had some time.
And
to
he
get all
quickly
the
he
data
catches
through
them barely, and he
to-
says we need to, he like, adjust course, goes on kinds of, adjust course, and he like basically directs everyone to fly away from this in a way that will keep you out of range of those scanners.
Seems like somebody wants a rematch.
Well,
somebody's
my
coming
power is
other thing
into
is,
that.
what's the Empire doing in just space? Well, I don't like even if it
Probably just a
like
coincidence.
even if it has to do with some of the space wizard bullshit.
Yeah.
Even the Empire coming into just space is already risky enough for them as it is.
I mean, they're the type who would be able to strong arm the type of special permission they need.
Fair enough.
Did anybody see our lightsabers and live? I don't think so.
That one guy.
Which one guy?
One guy that told your dad.
No, I mean on this planet.
No.
I
Because
don't think
the
so.
only person who I can think of that lived from that encounter was the librarian, but
You held
you
her
had
at gunpoint, not lightsaber.
yeah, you held her by gunpoint, and
I'm not a complete moron.
You didn't torture her with a lightsaber. You tortured her by throwing books on the floor.
we tortured her by throwing books on the floor and having Flopsy eat some
Granted, our
books.
descriptions, I guess, are pretty blank. But they'll just, like, our library was raided. Huh, that sucks for you guys. It's like, okay.
Until they're like, it was a punk kid and a yeti and they're just
and
gonna.
a clone trooper,
It's like,
or an imperial trooper who was looking. So.
was there a man with a shiny ass-kicking leg? No, we didn't see him.
All right. Well.
Sorry.
Okay, so we're out of.
You're going to be able to like leave the
Citrus-
system, it seems, without this ship picking up on you just yet.
All right.
I'm slightly worried that I was thinking about this the really weird message from the Whisper Conveyance engine. I mean, it's weird that it's in fish speak, but it's talking about the Redoubt and the because doesn't it mention something about a key frozen in ice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That could be the library. Just a reference to the fact that, hey, dum-dums, find the library in order to find a way in here where you don't die.
Or
it's
literally something on the planet.
No. We might already have the key.
Care to share with the rest of the class?
Was your your fancy temple that we shot up to in the ball thing?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a frozen planet?
Oh yeah. I guess that is true. It would make it would work out.
What if good look? At least some of us know who's on board that Imperial reconnaissance frigate. What if the Inquisitors are chasing the same thing that we are? I'm just saying it's a big galaxy. It's weird for them to pop up.
If I had a
after
nickel
us
for
and-
every time that I ran into a Sith reconnaissance frigate, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot. That's
It's
weird
weird
that
to
happened
have
twice.
I'm just saying that.
You're not wrong, but that just means that we need to get there faster.
Yeah. Which. So thus, I repeat my previous question. What did you find at the library?
Well, we found.
Oops.
Thank you, Flopsy.
And from over on the couch.
Scoo's had a much
We
more
found,
exciting time. That is true.
Yeah.
Oh no, we can.
Getting those books,
The weekend at
getting those
Bernie's
books was
was pretty-
super boring.
Yeah. Nothing happened.
No, really.
We found several descriptors or books. One of which is a description of the exact moon we need to go to, or planet, which is. I wrote it down, but just so I can make sure I got it right, is Verxigian or
Verxigian.
Verxigian.
So yeah, that's the Verxigian. Verxigian is the moon.
Yeah, so that's the moon, and
That's
we know
around the
that
planet.
the temple we're looking for has been found is within an active volcano. So
Cool.
and
I was
then-
going to build a temple in an active volcano. Seems like a better place than a frozen ice ball of a planet.
I think it's the duality.
Yeah. And
You
then,
need your frozen ice ball temples and your active volcano temples.
It's the duality.
and we found a notebook that theorizes a secret route using hyperjump, or the theory is we use hyperjumps from a star to star that gets us into the
Redoubt.
The Redoubt. And it's a route that nobody else would take or even know of. It took the researcher her entire life to figure that out, because she just coasted the entire way there.
However, crazy dangerous and only theoretical.
Only theoretical. Well,
You basically have kind of two paths laid before you. You can either try and get past one of the main causeways in that is monitored and watched by the Chiss Navy, or this other back door that's theoretical and dangerous, but not watched by.
I know Nate's a tactical droid, but could I give him the information
and have him spit up a plan that's like likely scenarios? Oh, that's rad.
Could I give him like?
You certainly could,
and see if he could come up with something. Like if he could give us either statistics or a good route that we could take.
Do you want a percentage?
Likelihood of death, 97%. Yeah, likelihood of death, 87%. Well, there it is.
It's like I said. I calculate that this has a never tell me the odds.
Except I tell me the odds.
You think so?
Listen, if it's a million to one chance.
Improvement to his brain is specifically from the point of a tactics droid, not necessarily something for astrogation. So his improved processing is more of a battlefield situation than it is. It will help with the processing power of computing percentages. But those percentages will only be as accurate as the astrogation side of his brain is able to produce.
Okay.
So it will be...
He has a higher intelligence, but the ranks that he has in astrogation.
Yeah, he still only has one rank in astrogation.
You can take the... you can take the brain out of Nate, but you can't take the Nate out of Nate. Nate.
What about R3? Because R3...
I mean,
it's going to be like R3...
built for astrogation.
Would R3 be like a better alternative, and then Nate can just translate?
We just make them both do it and then argue about the results.
That... So here's the thing. R3 is better suited for the actual astrogation, plugging in the data and helping you guys make the jumps. Nate is probably better at producing possible scenarios and determining percentages of outcomes. You could, in theory, with a decent mechanics check, connect between the two droids, combine their processing powers, and get a fairly accurate readout. But it would require cooperation from both droids.
No.
Yes!
Alright.
Let's try it. Can I roll a persuasion on Nate?
Wait.
Not Nate, R3.
Nate's on board. Roger, on board. Whatever the plan is.
I kind of feel like going in the front door isn't really an option.
No.
Going in the back door isn't really an option. So let's make our own door, which seems to be what you found. And look, if we go in the front door, we almost certainly get blown out of the sky by a fleet. If we make our own door, we might teleport into a star, in which case we won't live long enough to regret the decision.
This is why we need both astromechs to work together here, so we can get a more accurate understanding of this situation here.
They give you good answers, we die.
I'm trying to think how I can phrase this to R3 so that I can be deceptive.
What you know about R3 is that he is a old man war veteran who's not over it.
Because I too am an old man war veteran.
So we're saying, if you're coming forth and talking to him, it's either, I don't want you guys to take I'm going to try and then I fail, then someone else tried. Come at it with a plan, because it's not going to be easy. So.
Yeah.
You guys should discuss your game plan and approach
intelligently. That's my intimidate him. That's my only contribution.
My idea was going to be to basically lie to him and say that we want to hook them up so that he can cross-check Nate's answers, because we're not totally sure that Nate's reliable enough in his astrogation data. We want him to double-check all of his work.
I just also feel like R3 might just lie to us in that case and be like, yeah, he's useless, scrap him. Even though all the astrogation data checks out, he's just I would let this guy jump you 20 feet.
That's the other, that's kind of my thing.
Was that R3 really likes me, And I was just gonna ask him very nicely if he could help us.
Now we are doing this on comms, right?
This is over comms. We'll say for the sake of this, you said like, "Hey R3, can you check the vibro balance combustion module in the back engine room?" And right away, when he left, and then you guys are having this talk really quickly over comms.
With one last glare.
Rolls backwards, keeping his eye on him the whole time as he backs out and then down the hall. Little prong arm comes out, points at one eye, points at him.
my idea would just be I talked with him as a also a former war veteran.
So we're saying you're not in the same ship as him.
Yeah, well,
I
can overcome.
I mean, I'm gonna have to make the mechanics check anyway, so we're gonna have to
plug up
or land somewhere to do it.
So, because I would just pretty much be like, listen, I get you don't trust this new system in Nate. I don't trust it either. Once a clanker, always a clanker. But we need this data to help us with this mission. And that's kind of just see if I can convince him that way, as a veteran to a veteran.
But to his favorite young people that he saved. Yeah, he would do anything for me. Not this kid.
The problem is that I don't know if I want to trust the word of a 7-year-old. Mind you, it's a 7-foot 7-year-old. But
I'd probably go
per year.
7-foot 7-year-old is the worst horror B movie of that.
I'd probably go with Jerry and lean on the duty of it, where it's listen,
you can also make it a combined thing. Yeah, you don't. It doesn't necessarily have to be only one person approaching.
It's just we're making one check.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll help lean into it and be
yeah. So I would say me and
Manus
try and do this.
I think it should probably be Flopsy and Badger.
Okay.
I think just if R3 R3 doesn't like me, my only option would be to intimidate him into doing it.
Right.
It sounds like R3 doesn't like you all that much either.
You're not wrong.
So
he overheard what Zadra had to say. Saying, this kid's sketchy.
So the big thing is just we only get one attempt at it, so we need to make sure that if there's multiple people contributing, that they're not contrary to each other. Which is why it shouldn't be Flopsy being like, "Could you do me a favor?" and me being like, "Listen here, you little shit," because that won't get us anywhere.
Okay, I can see Flopsy.
So I think Badger leaning into the we have a mission to fulfill, the duty side of it, and Flopsy leading it, into
or Forsaken Princess.
Yeah.
Please.
That's probably R3. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Oh, you know who he is? Know him? I am him.
Of course I know him. He's me. Boop, 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 beep.
It's just a droid in the robe. So the Tusken Raider scene at the top of the hill, he's just doing that silence whole thing.
I love the idea of Zadra walking into the ship and he just kind of throws his robe and it lands on R3 and he tilts to his finger. Do 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 do.
All right.
Or the Imperial March starts playing.
If you ever find a real life lightsaber, you should really pay attention to what music is playing diddling in the background when you pick it up.
Right?
So
whose voice is in your flashback scene?
Yeah. So Flopsy and Badger are going to be doing this check here.
Yeah, I think it should be.
Okay. So we'll say for the sake of this, there's not really a whole lot of plans you guys probably feel comfortable landing on, and you probably want to keep making forward momentum. So the two ships can connect, and you can walk across. And you gather in the sort of foyer of the Whisper, and there are two astromechs in there, waiting to hear what the orders are. And one is constantly kind of turning to the side to keep an eye on the other. The other seems to just be happily waiting.
So now the question is, who starts this conversation? Is it going to be me? Okay.
Yeah, because I'm the ender.
Okay.
The closer.
I feel like
Coffees
that's
for closers.
Yeah. Coffees for closers. Okay. R3, stop staring over at Nate. Look at me. So I get it. You're in the war effort. As you can tell, I was a former war veteran myself in the Clone Wars. In fact, I don't trust the new operating system in Nate either. Because once a clanker, always a clanker. But we have it. But we have it. But we have a duty. Yes. But we have a duty to fulfill. We have a duty to fulfill, and I need you both to work together to figure out this route for us. You need to stick to your duty as a soldier and help us finish the mission. Lopsy? I don't point. I just kind of look over like, you're the closer, so.
I can believe that you can get along with Nate to help us. So please.
You have melted my cool metallic heart. I think something might have broken.
I'm feeling.
You've seen these heads spin around and explode.
Because you have appealed to the soldier inside of R3A1, I'm going to let you choose to use any social skill you want, but the one that I assume you'll want to use that is an option because of how you went about this will be leadership, if you would like to use leadership.
Nice.
Yeah, I will go ahead and do that.
And it's going to be a daunting check, so it's going to be against 4 purples. However, you can upgrade one of your dice, and you can add 2 boosts from Flopsy's love and your speech.
From emotional.
Do a
From emotional.
Do a 4 stack.
Oh yeah.
You spending one? Okay.
So since I have 2 yellow already, that just gives
2
me
yellow.
green.
So you have 1 rank in leadership?
Yeah.
And 2 dice in it, so it would go from a yellow to another yellow, so it would be 2 yellow, 1 green,
Yeah.
2
And
blue,
2 blue. Okay.
against 4 purple.
Okay.
So it's kind of in your favor, but it's close. It's close.
Alright, here we go. 3 failures, 3 advantages, but 1 triumph.
Just 1 triumph. You tell me, what does that mean? He's not willing to plug into this guy.
Actually, just looking at this route, I think it's just a straight line.
Maybe he gains some kind of insight.
I think somehow we are getting a route out of this, but it is not coming from the 2 of them. Because he is flat out refusing.
R3 will be like. And basically what R3 is going to say is, I cannot be plugged in to that Confederate unit because he could, first of all, it will give that brain access to my very classified information.
What classified information do
And
you
more
have?
importantly, it gives him access to my processor, and I don't want him somehow hacking into my system. He flat refuses to be plugged into this other robot because it is too risky with how important of a model he is. However, he says that over this trip he's been kind of going over the astrogation data, and he thinks that he will be able to make the jumps, and that he has done a pretty similar maneuver. Granted, it was in a much smaller fighter, but with Master Dagunji during the war, and that this exact method, this kind of like short hyperspace jump to navigate hard to navigate space, he's fairly well accustomed to because of a particular adventure him and his old master went on in the past. So he says, as a fellow soldier of the True Republic, you have to understand that I can't plug into that Confederate model.
I don't really understand what all the complaint is about. The Republic just got us the Empire, and we're fighting the Empire. Aren't you on the side of the Confederates now?
Did you say that? Did you say that to him?
Absolutely not. Do not say that.
How about you say that after I get the information?
Let's get a percentage dice. It's the only way to
Let's roll for
solve. It's the only way to
grumpy old
solve
man.
questions like this.
It's true.
I'll say it.
Okay.
But it's close.
You're like,
I've been thinking it for
it
a
makes
while.
sense to you, but you know that this stubborn astromech will get very offended.
Yeah,
by
he's
this.
always just
I-
calling the Empire.
I kinda-
Be like, you're right.
You're right. The Empire is the Republic. Freeze!
I like to think like I look over and I see him about to spill the beans. What's like, I think to myself, don't you
Please
do
don't,
it.
please don't, please don't. You see the bubbling anger inside of Raiden.
All right.
More like bubbling annoyance.
That's a
All right,
strange thing to do over comms.
I go.
No, they plugged in. They came across.
You're
on the same ship.
We're in the same
Oh,
station.
okay, I missed that.
So,
I'm gonna
okay,
give
so I'm gonna-
R3 a hug and tell him he did his best.
Not really.
I think he did.
I'm gonna look at R3. Okay. Because I'm just gonna ask this question: how accurate? How sure are you that we can do this? You used to do this. It's been a while.
R3 will say,
Like,
what he says is that he is confident that if any model could do it, he could. He says that that he is not going off of sure information. He's going off of the idea of a route. So this isn't like he's like, if this was astrogation data, I could translate it and do it no problem. This is somebody flying normally and assuming what the astrogation data for that flight should be. And he says that he's confident that he can get it close, but as far as the anomalies and the other things involved in this system, they're going to be curveballs that he's not necessarily going to be able to perfectly foresee just because of the nature of the data he's translating. And moreover, whichever ship he's on is going to have to make the jump first, and he's going to have to he's going to do the astrogation data, send it over to the other ship, jump, and then the other ship has to jump blindly using the same data and trust that it's right.
really, that's a better of our two options here at this point.
I don't think going through the blockades is going to work.
No, because the only way I could figure us potentially even having a good chance of getting through the blockades is if we somehow lure those Star Destroyers there and start a fight between the Chiss and the Empire. But
we just do the video game thing where you're being attacked by an enemy that's way too high level, so you run somewhere else so stuff starts fighting.
Exactly.
You would know from your time in the Empire that the Chiss they're not subservient to the Empire, but they are basically on an uneasy alliance, allowing the Empire... Basically, the Empire has free reign to move about this place if they want to. However, the Chiss get to maintain their own independence from the Empire.
So
that's
out of the question.
It'd be hard to start a fight between them. It'd take some trickery, for sure.
That is out of the question. So, I vote, let's give R3 the data, and we'll see how accurate he is. He stays on the Whisper, and I will pilot a knife in the dark, and we will just have to do this blindly.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I think the most Star Wars option is our best option.
All right, so
I don't know. Running blockades is very Star Wars.
that is very Star Wars, but just do the Holdo maneuver. Light speed into a ship.
You're gonna get a new ship anyway, right? It's fine.
Yeah, but I wanted to keep this one.
And he didn't want to die losing this one, but that's
besides the point.
Ryan
Tomatoes.
finally got his hammerhead Corvette. But he died, destroying his other ship.
so he didn't.
So he didn't. All right, so
His new character. His new character.
Anyone can name the movie. I shot a bear over there, but I didn't really do it because I was drunk. If you can name the movie, I'll be very impressed. Put it down in the comments below if you know the movie I've just quoted.
So I'm gonna sit down with R3 and start giving him the information manually because it's a freaking book.
It's a book, and it's really like the little eye thing goes out, and you can see almost like a projection of a straight line fan sort of thing that goes down, and it kind of seems to be like he's downloading this information, taking it in, and processing it. Seems like a pretty high-end astromech unit.
I walk over to Nate and just pat him on his head and just
Roger.
He wanted to help. He could.
Look, Nate is going to do whatever is for the best of the mission. He wants to help, and if the best way he can help is by sitting back and let someone else do it, he's a good soldier. He's willing to do that.
Yeah. How long does it take for R3 to get
R3 starts processing. I mean, he kind of processes his information and then gives you guys the astrogation data to jump to outside of the redoubt where this route begins. And that section, he's very confident. No checks or anything required. You guys will be able to jump to this. And getting outside, like, it's hard. It's space, and so for the sake of this, like, it's the distances. Dramatic, it is dramatic because the redoubt is it's space, so it's 3-dimensional. It's in front of you, and we're talking about something that's millions of miles away, or thousands of miles away, or whatever, the hundreds of thousands probably away from where you jumped to initially. But what you can see is like a fairly noticeable cluster in the distance of space that has. It looks almost like a nebula. It's very nebulous. It's very strange. It's swirly. You can see, like, it's very bright. It's like there's an abnormal concentration of stars in a close proximity in this area. Like, before you even start jumping into this thing, even from this distance, you can tell, like, it is a very weird piece of space.
You're a weird piece of space.
Flipping your ass. Just remember, with your insults, that we're about to get into skill checks based on...
You son of a bitch!
That's a good point. I really should have learned from the last Devils of the West. So,
yeah, Scooter didn't really have to suffer the consequence of that too much yet.
Oh no, it was the last Star Wars.
It was the last Star Wars.
Yeah, where he just kept...
Yeah. No, the Last Devils of the West is where he didn't do any. He did like made his math good, and so I had to cash in on that threat. Add an extra wound threshold to a boss fight. But anyway, so this is going to work. It's going to be astrogation checks for each jump, and each of these jumps is going to end up somewhere. And depending on how good the astrogation jump is, it may require skill checks from the group of you in order to navigate something dangerous so that he can get out of and
is it
navigate.
Is it space astrogation? Or
it could be piloting space. It could be using the scanners. It could be mechanics checks due to damage. It could be a lot of things. So, we will start with the astrogation check. The first one is very successful. Jumping into this, it seems the first one, he lands you into a fairly... You can tell you're in, like, close proximity cluster to quite a few other dangerous things. But it kind of drops off in here. And then you see, and then it takes... And this isn't like a jump, jump. Like, it's jump, and then it's, like, the equivalent of probably 5 rounds, 10 rounds of him processing and computing and telling the ship, like, the ship adjusting and finding a straight causeway lane and then jumping to the next one. The next one, unfortunately, jumps you into an asteroid field.
Right.
So it jumps you, and it's kind of like you appear in, and immediately it's like something crashes against you, and you can tell that where he jumped you was probably the correct place by the data you had, but because of the constant swirl and ebb and flow of this place, something that was clear space now has an asteroid field in it.
Yeah.
And so you have landed inside of it. What I would like is, so this is going to be group checks. We're going to do 5 rounds of this, and each round each pilot is going to be making a piloting check, the difficulty of which will be determined by a lot of other things. So first things first, who is probably not going to be doing gunnery or co-piloting checks?
Probably Flopsy. You don't have gunnery.
Scoos is definitely not doing.
Yeah, I'm on standby as a mechanic. So
Okay.
Because
you're going to be doing gunnery. Are you going to be? You're still flying?
I'll probably do flying. I guess it depends on how good.
How's Zadra's legacy feeling?
Yeah, how's Zadra's? Whether Zadra's a better pilot or better
probably it's going to be gunnery. So to like destroy asteroids that could get in your
I
path.
see. Well, then I have an agility of 4, and he has
He doesn't have any like ranks in gunnery. I don't think you do either.
So he'd be a better pilot.
He'd be a better pilot, so he'll do the piloting check. Okay. So there's also I guess with that ship. Well, each round, since Flopsy is not going to really be making any checks here, Flopsy, you get to roll the D4 of how hard this is. So there's going to be a D4 roll each round, and depending on what you do, it'll add or subtract or change the dice here.
3.
That's the one that does nothing!
Yay!
So, no negative setbacks on this one.
Nice.
So the piloting checks are going to be hard piloting checks. However, they're going to be hard piloting checks with 2 setback die. You can make a gunnery or a co-piloting check to try and remove those setback dice.
Are these checks affected by maneuverability at all?
Probably. I guess I didn't really think about that, but maneuverability. We'll say for the sake of this that maneuverability in this normally does it like upgrade? I don't know. Space combat in this is something I'm.
We haven't really gotten into
loose
as much.
knowledge of.
Yeah. Because we're Jedi, and fighting with your lightsabers is way cooler than fighting in space.
Excuse me. Not that one. Yeah.
You want
I think for the sake of this, we're gonna not worry about the maneuverability of the ship.
You don't want everybody in this ship
to suffer a billion strain. We're gonna say this like it's more about the skill of the people. We're gonna the maneuverability of both is going to be mediocre. So I don't think it's going to make a huge. I'm not going to have it make a difference here. Okay. I guess if you want, I'll let you do this since you have that. If you want to deactivate the safety inhibitors, each of these 5 rounds, you can do so. Doing so will automatically remove one of the setback dice.
How many setback dice are there?
2.
2.
And you have a chance of removing one or both with other checks, but you can just guaranteed. And if you go over that, you can add additional boost dice. So.
I mean, if it's just 5 rounds, I don't think any of us are at risk of passing out.
Jumps.
It's not going to be.
Is Scoos in the Whisper, or is he on the other one?
He's on ours.
Oh.
He's on the knife of the door.
I was gonna say because I was gonna throw them on for dude. I'd be like, you need me shit.
And we'll leave them on for now.
So I think I'm gonna do this
rolls, then
for the knife.
Change that.
Obviously, Toku's my gunnery.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put Skull on my co-pilot.
So the knife only has the 2 seats. It's one or the other.
Okay.
So
then
there's
he's
no
my
co-pilot check. You can do a gunnery check or a co-pilot or a piloting space check to try and remove those setbacks.
You got the gunnery ranks. I would say do gunnery.
It's going to be an average check for each of those.
There is the funny thing about the
2 success, 2 advantage.
2 success, 2 advantage.
TIE Reaper dropships is they do have 3 seats, all right next to each other. You like at the console, which just kind of looks ridiculous. I think they're cool. They're really cool ships.
It's one of those old booth seats.
So no setback dice. No setback dice. So roll just a hard piloting space.
A success, 2 threat.
A success, 2 threat. So you're going to suffer 2 system strain. The knife in the dark is going to suffer 2 system strain.
2 system strain.
You're able to avoid those. He blasts a couple of these out of your way, and you're able to avoid. In the avoidance of, though, you're putting the system under a lot of strain to maneuver and fly around these asteroids. Zadra's able to he's fine. He's just fine. Next round, roll me a d4.
Let's see it.
No,
D6. Pointy.
Pointy.
I rolled a 6.
A 3.
Yay! So gunnery co-piloting.
Okay. 1 success, 3 advantage.
Okay. No. So he is going to come for 1 second.
4 success and a threat.
4 success, 1 threat. Okay. So it's going to be same check you just made, but with 1 setback die.
Okay. 2 failure and an advantage.
2 failure, 1 advantage. Okay. So you're going to do. It's going to be 2 damage. Hull trauma to the ship. From you end up catching the edge of one as you're trying to maneuver around.
Are you able to make any mechanics checks to help that?
I mean, I can make mechanics checks to repair hull trauma. I don't know if I'm technically allowed to do that
just yet
while inside the ship or.
I see.
I think I don't know exactly how the mechanics during ship combat work. If you want to start looking it up on your phone over there, while we just keep going, I don't think your ship's going to get destroyed by this in the time it takes to do that. In the meantime, it will be a fresh round. Roll me d4.
A 1.
A 1. You get a little too close to one of these large celestial bodies. Both ships are going to have the gravitational pull. One of your purples will get upgraded to a red this round on your piloting check. Co-piloting does not get it, and the gunnery does not get
okay. I found handling. That was just where I opened to.
Okay.
Every point of negative handling adds 1 setback die to all piloting checks.
Okay.
Every point of positive handling adds a boost die to all piloting
Okay.
checks. If you want to use those.
Well, we'll probably use it later.
Yeah, this one we'll just keep going.
I would say let's just keep. We're already in.
Erickson already did his math for this encounter. He just
We're good.
That's why I want to ruin it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, give me another gunnery.
So gunnery check, average gunnery and average piloting?
4 success, 1 advantage, and a triumph.
And a triumph, okay.
3
You
advantage,
were
1 failure.
very well.
3 advantage, 1 failure.
Yeah.
Alright, so you're doing it for the knife in the dark, right? The gunnery. So you're going to 3 advantage, 1 failure. You are still going to have 2 setback die and upgrade one of the purple to a red.
Another one?
No,
Just the one.
Oh, I was
Just
like,
Another.
a second one.
He does upgrade 1, so it's
Maybe-
that. He gets this, and he also gets to do stuff because of your triumph.
Maybe.
Wow.
Maybe.
Talk about a lucky ass roll. 1 success, 1 triumph.
1 success, 1 triumph. All right. I'm going to say, for the sake of that triumph, you can automatically remove one of the setback from the next one. So it'll be easier for him to do his gunnery. Zadra is once again successful. However, it does do 1 system strain to this ship, which I'll keep track of. It'll be one next round. This is the 4th, I believe. Give me a d4.
Oh, 1 more. Huh.
It's a 3!
Nothing!
Hooray!
Just what I was hoping for. You roll 3 every single time. Not using the other table. So gunnery co-piloting.
Ooh.
That's awful.
3 failure, but 8 advantage. Look at this. Look at this.
That's a lot of...
Audience, that is every positive die had advantages, and every negative die had a failure.
2 advantages.
Just 2 advantages?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are going to just have 1 setback die. But it'll be 3 perps. None of them are upgraded to red this time.
A success and a threat.
Success and threat, so another strain on the...
That was neat.
3rd strain.
3rd strain on the knife in the dark.
A 3rd strain?
Yeah.
Zadra gets a success and an advantage, so he's all good.
Same strain.
And 1 more check before you guys are out of this field. Roll the d4. Get a 2 or a 4, so it's something.
A 3!
Oh my god.
Nothing!
Amazing.
Wow.
That
Exciting stuff, everybody. Alright, gunnery, co-piloting.
I'm really good at
1 success, 3
rolling
advantage.
for
1 success, 3 advantage. Okay.
1 threat.
1 threat.
scenario.
Alright. So he'll have those. You're going to have 1 setback down this. And then both of you roll it. Another strain threshold, but he avoids
2 failures.
2 failures, 2 more wound, 2 more hull trauma on the knife in the dark.
Dang.
You can make mechanics checks to repair during
Well-
combat, but
well,
you
now
can
that
only do
we're-
it essentially once per. You said 2 more?
Yeah, 2 more.
You
But
can
now that we're
essentially
out
only
of
do it,
this...
yeah, once per encounter.
Okay.
Well, now that we're out of this, you can take a moment to do a
maybe you can
mechanics
roll
check.
your mechanics.
Sure, I have 2 green and that.
Well,
No,
all
Will.
their mechanics.
Oh.
Because Will's got the ranks, not you.
Oh,
I
we
should-
we melt we.
You're separated. You're 2 separate.
We're
ships.
separated now.
So how does he do it? Mechanic?
Because I'm.
Because he's not in.
He's in the same
Because
ship you guys
you're in my seat, or you're in my co-pilot seat as my
Oh.
gunner.
You-
He's just
I don't
no. He's
I'm
with
not
us.
paying attention.
It's his ship.
I literally made
I'm
everybody
in
stop
my
and
ship.
explain where they were in all the ships and got lots of like, looks for doing it. Well, here's why. Because he can only make mechanics checks on the ship he's in.
Sure.
Yeah,
This
but I was
is-
listening anyway.
This is an easy check because of the relatively light
Wouldn't
damage
you like to
No.
that we've taken. I don't think I have any other bonuses to do this. I could cause a system to
That would be a
spontaneously
surprise.
fail.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So it's probably
And I will, if I have any successes at all, I will repair an extra hull trauma because of solid repairs.
Okay.
So I get 3 of those 4 damage back.
Oh, hey, nice.
And I
That was
can
much better.
I can make as many checks as I want to repair system strain. It's the same difficulty because we didn't lose all that much system strain. Yeah, that blows the system strain out of the water. So.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, now all I can think of is playing the huckster when I make a new character for
It's really cool. It's and some of their like specific edges are all about just like cheating or pocketing more cards and stuff. I just love the idea of a magic system where you have to literally play poker against spirits in order to.
Are you guys ready for the next jump?
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Not really, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. He jumps you to a clear spot in space.
Yeah.
Rearrange, realign, gather data, jumps. I didn't foresee this outcome. It's straight and nothing. So we're going to say that he jumps you, that the jump he makes is slightly off. It still lands in a good place, but it messes with his pre-done data, and he's going to make this next one slightly harder.
Quick question before you roll it. How many jumps do we have to do?
10 total.
Okay. I want to know how tight I need to poke my butthole.
You're halfway there.
Man, I just keep shutting my eyes whenever he gets ready to roll. I'm just like,
Rock and roll, buckaroo.
Interesting.
I don't like that.
3 to spare.
Oh no, that's you don't sit there and go interesting. You laugh really hard and shake your head.
And go straight into a sun.
Yeah.
straight to the star.
You apologize to the audience for the abrupt end.
So the whisper is going to jump first, and because of the triumph that he just got, he's going to be able to quickly send a message back to the others of you that you need to jump to a slight adjustment of the astrogation data, so you are not going to jump too close to this sun. The whisper, however, is going to have to be making some checks to avoid some gravitational pull and some solar flares.
All right.
So, Flopsy, roll me a d4.
Oh, let's see it.
3.
Keep using that die.
So I want you to do is make me a hard piloting space to co-pilot.
Okay.
Lucky orange D4.
I know.
Oh, 1 failure, but 6 advantages.
Your advantages don't do shit right now.
So,
I didn't like that.
you kind of like try and like help. It ends up that between the two of you guys are kind of more competing for controls than helping each other, and the ship gets kind of pulled a little too close, and a solar flare kind of burns across the side and does some pretty considerable damage to the ship. It does, however, you only have to make that one before it's out and you kind of get out of this pole, and then the other ship jumps in next to you.
As you mechanic, I'm going to have to fix that.
Can Flopsy try to roll mechanics?
Do we want her to
Sure she can.
R3 would probably
R3.
Or Nate, if R3 will let him.
Yeah, will R3 let Nate do mechanics so he can astrogate?
R3 is currently like plugged in and super focused on downloading this, so I don't think he could stop you from having Nate attempt a mechanics check. It's worth saying that for the sake of this entire jump sequence is considered one encounter. So this will be your only mechanics check until you're through this system, whole
it's better
jump
to
system.
Top up now than it is to try to repair
It's the thing of having healing items in your inventory and being like, I don't want to use
What's
these
the
till I get
difficulty
lower.
determined by?
It's determined by how
Is it
damaged the ship is.
It's like when someone says, so if they're over half, it's easy.
If you have over half remaining, it's easy. If you have like less than half remaining, I think it's medium.
Okay.
And then if the ship is like
Crippled,
it's hard.
So if you ask Nate to go and repair, and he'll be like, Roger, on it. And you can see like, it's kind of like this like little welder thing comes out and it like sputters for a second, and he like turns and like welds a thing, and then like slowly kind of sputters, turns, welds a thing. He seems to be making some successful repairs slowly and not particularly effectively, but a little bit.
Okay. Oh.
See, he's doing his best.
I'm gonna cheer him on.
Let's go.
Go.
1, 2, 4, 6, 8. We appreciate Nate.
R3.
You better not be letting him do. So he's very focused on his astrogating.
Yes.
We'll roll the next one. 1 success. Good. So it's 6.
What is my role in this? Being the cheerleader so we can survive.
Scooz is. I don't know what Scooz is doing. He's probably just vibing to his vibro country right now.
He jumps in on this next one. Both ships are going to take a single hull trauma as he does so.
What did we hit?
Jumping in. He jumps you in, and it's another like small asteroid field, but it's jumped into to where you collide with an edge of an asteroid field, and you don't have to navigate through it.
It was a rabbit that dove in front.
No, a space bird hits your windshield.
A space deer comes across the...
It's a Minoc. We jump out, we just hit a flock of Minocs.
Oh, don't give me that.
See, that's what you do when you go really bad. You don't just go, huh, that's interesting.
That was the 9th one. You almost made it. Similarly, you're jumped dangerously close to a sun, to like a sun. However, more so than the last one, and it's going to be multiple checks for this one. So what it's going to be is 3 checks, and you are automatically going to be taking strain and hull damage from the proximity to this. So it's very important that you don't take additional, probably.
I can keep knocking the strain down with mechanics checks. So the strain I'm not too worried about.
So
don't worry, you'll all be conscious when the ship...
You're not going to be able to use gunnery to help here at all.
The ship strain.
If you want to make a co-piloting check to make his check easier, you can, but failing at it can make it harder.
Okay.
Just so you know. So it's going to be a hard co-piloting check. Are you wanting to try and make a co-piloting check to make his check different?
Yeah. What is co-piloting?
It's just piloting space.
Oh,
it's just piloting space.
Agility.
Yeah, I'll
you're like natural. You're like naturally good.
So both the co-piloting checks give me a hard co-pilot, a hard piloting.
Just 2 threat.
2 threat. Okay.
2 advantage.
2 advantage.
Okay.
That dog's always angry.
That's true.
We just even
2 advantage.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a daunting piloting space with 1 setback die.
Oof.
With my 2 advantages? Jesus.
2 advantages is not... Look,
No.
you this could be much harder.
A success and a threat.
A success and a threat.
Nice.
Okay, so only 1 strain threshold. However, the Whisper gets pulled dangerously close here and takes another big solar flare across the kind of brunt of it, dealing pretty considerable damage to it.
Does it... I mean, depending on how bad the other ship's struggling, we could try and use the light tractor beam and haul them out of there.
I would say that you can try and like fall back and use the light tractor beam to help. It'll make his check easier and his check harder, if you'd like to do that.
No, because it's already daunting on... And I think you're... What's your pilot?
I have 2 ranks in it.
Right, what's your agility?
3.
So, yeah, it's kind of a wash.
Yeah, but I don't want to sit here with my finger over the tractor beam button and watch you guys get pulled into a sun.
Well, yeah. That won't happen, because I'm going to roll awesome on this next check.
Okay, so no tractor beam?
You got one
go.
more, kid.
D4.
After that,
Let's
we're pulling it out.
A 2?
A 2.
The worst.
Maybe some of these are
It'll
good.
be... Oh, yeah. It's just going to be kind of a particularly flary part of this, and it's going to be an additional setback die on both of the main piloting checks. With the 2.
So now I'm at...
Well,
First we roll.
first they roll to determine some stuff.
Here's...
Hey, 1 success, 1 threat.
1 success, 1 threat. Okay.
It's a wash.
Straight nothing?
That's a worse.
A wash. Okay. So it's going to be 2 setback die on yours total.
Wait. Go.
4 success, 5 threats.
5 threats. So 5 system strain, but no. You really have to like torque this thing to get out of this gravitational pull, but it does a lot of strain on the system.
I'm gonna make a mechanics check to try and keep this ship from shutting down. That's still just easy, which is nice. 2 success, 2 advantages, 1 triumph.
All right. Whatever that means by the rules you just read, do it.
I think.
Does that clear us of strain?
No, that might only give us, despite how awesome of a roll that is, that might only clear 2 strain.
I'll say though, with that
Triumph,
it'll help with removing setback die from it.
Oh, nice.
So both of you, first D4.
This is our last one, right?
Oh,
It's a
excuse me,
3.
I didn't actually roll Sadras. Why'd you remind me? You fools.
3.
Why?
What was yours?
1 success, 1 threat.
1 success. That's so
I'm literally just doing the whole like, come on, baby, hold together.
Hey.
Okay, no damage, but some more system strain, and it's like sparks are starting to shoot in from the side. It's like as this ship seems to be nearing losing power next to this sun. Nate is going to make a check to try and bring some back.
It's the exact same rules as hull trauma, just for system strength.
So Nate kind of like, and you see like he starts working quicker. He sees this thing turning up, and he repairs like a pretty considerable amount of the system strain, and then you hear like, and you see the head kind of like rock back and forth, and then he just kind of slumps and powers down.
I'm gonna pull him in my arms.
It seems like he overtaxed his system and shut himself down.
He did his best.
Basically, he got a lot of success, but also despair. So he repaired a lot of that system strain, and a lot of these things seem to be like powering back up. They were starting to power down, but
I've never seen R3 work so hard that he shut himself down.
Make that comment.
D4.
No.
Yeah,
What is it?
A 3.
A 3. Boo! Nothing. Why did I even make a nothing?
I'm too busy fixing my ship to
Let's get those co-piloting checks. Hard co-piloting.
Here we go. Nice. 3 success, 1 threat.
3 success, 1 threat.
One
Nice.
success, one advantage.
What was that?
1 success, 1 advantage.
1 success, 1 advantage. All right. Go ahead and make the daunting piloting with 1 setback die.
Two advantage.
Huh?
2 advantage.
2 advantage, no failures. With that, both ships break away from this, finally, and no further damage seems to happen to the Whisper. He got stone cold nuts, which in the way I built this is just fine. That's very close. And then this kind of, and you see the ship kind of like sputtering and stuff, and you guys can take some time here, and R3 could technically get off the astrogation brain and kind of patch up the system strain, but the whole trauma you've already made the once per encounter. What can be fixed on the inside has been fixed, and the ship is still fairly damaged. The good news is you're 1 jump away from making it into the Redoubt.
I would say let's let R3 fix some of the strain.
Yeah.
Unless we take an insane amount of damage in this last jump, I think we.
Why do you have to say that?
I don't know how to
say that.
You guys,
Hey, you know what?
We'll probably be fine.
You know what, Ryan? The most important ones are here on the ship anyway. Like the main.
You guys don't have the key.
And you can't open
the
key.
Yeah, they just.
You don't have the force.
I pickpocketed you like 3 sessions ago.
They still can't open it. They
With
just
your non-force powers.
They just teleport the key into a sun that we get there. We're standing in front of a big door. Then like, how do we get in? Shit, I don't know. And then the Inquisitors jump us and they're like, "Give us the key." We're like, "Fuck, man, it went into a sun."
You got it, cause we don't got it.
We just figured we'd come see what the door looked like.
I'm just the DoorDash guy. Shit.
Shit.
We were gonna open it with this thing, but since you're here,
this guy, whoever was in there.
Detonator would fit in the round slot.
I love the idea of give us the key. Okay, and you toss him a armed thermal detonator.
It's just been very crudely painted to look like the
You think if we put like a little sign next to it that said free force key there? Why is there a little string attached to it? I don't know. Pink.
I don't know, we should pick it up and find out.
Yeah. Fucking Steve and Bill, the dumbest stormtroopers alive. I still think it's a plasma cutter.
So,
We can totally use
I've just rolled. Actually, I did it a little while ago. I've just been waiting for the comedy to ensue. I've rolled the last astrogation check for where you guys are going to end up.
Straight to the sun.
Oh, we got.
The result is a failure, an advantage, and a triumph. Therefore, he is going to jump you insanely close to where you need to be. Like, right on to the world you are trying to jump to. Which means that you are right next to the planet that this moon orbits.
Oh no.
Which is Prion 8, the anomaly, known for its solar flares. And you will be jumped into another solar flare QuickTime event.
I knew it. R3, you're choking.
However, with the triumph, it's going to be the single round.
Okay.
Roll me a d4.
With very slight alterations. I would, however,
1. The increased gravitational pull of this gas giant is going to put one of the perps up to a red on this check. for the final piloting
There
check.
it goes.
Still hard.
And both of you give me hard piloting planetary co-pilot checks.
No setback die, right?
No,
Or-
this isn't
Wow.
you guys.
That is...
That literally
What a-
could not have gone worse.
What a heck of a... No, it could have gone very
Okay,
slightly
could have
worse. But not by much.
That's 4 failures, 1 advantage.
4 failures, 1 advantage.
Oh god.
So with
Look at this
that
roll.
level.
Oh my god. Look at that. I got fucked.
Alright.
Let me see if I can.
Give us a roll here.
Let's see.
Oh, you did.
No, Flossie should have done.
1 success. 1 success. All right. So you're gonna make it's gonna be the daunting check. However, it'll be with just 1 setback die and just 3 purples and 1 red because of the particularly
According
strong.
to our
That-
luck, I should have been flying.
No, because those were
Oh
my
my
stats.
god.
That's true.
Oh Jesus. A success and a threat.
All right, and he gets this. All right, and for his final check, 1 success, 3 threats. Luckily, you took the time to heal the strain, so it puts a lot more strain. And this system, again, like this, he's on a ship that didn't have a ton of system strain. That's why it was so dangerous when he took just a little bit before. It takes a lot of juice from this ship, and you are not helping very much this time. But you guys are able to pull away from the anomaly and get just outside of the reach of its pull and its solar flares. And you are now circulating around Verxigin, the moon of the anomaly inside the Redoubt, with an expertly placed jump, might I add.
With a slight alteration or two, I'm just going to keep that route because who knows when you might just need a back door into the...
Hey, who knows?
That data is downloaded
Hey,
in.
that could be worth a lot of fucking money to the right people. Let's be
I
honest.
bet you know one lady you could sell it
That's
to. at
true,
least.
but I'd much rather
already.
just be the guy who has it.
Yeah.
So that way, like 10 years from now, somebody could be like, "I heard you were part of a crew that had a job at the Redoubt." It's like,
Right.
yeah, why?
Already thinking about the sequels.
Look,
Yeah.
because
Always.
That's where all the money is.
No, all the money's in toys.
Ah, yeah,
if
you're
Lucas
right.
taught us anything.
I heard.
Yeah,
is
but-
it, someone's gonna walk up and be like, "Is it true that this is the ship that took Arapacia's path and only 10 jumps?"
You're like, yeah, you want a model?
Yeah, but Matty G, it's gonna be so awesome to have the Zadrax
50
figure where you
credits.
push the button on it back and his leg kicks.
Yeah, you look. You can even get a Zadra action figure. You give him a squeeze. There's my ass kicking leg.
Or you get the Scoos action figure where the micro rocket's like,
I'm a rebel, man.
I'm a rebel, man. Where his action is like the micro rocket just is a little dart.
Like suction cup darts. So, with that, you guys have successfully, to varying degrees, made it through Arapacia's path and into the Redoubt. You are outside of Verxigin, the moon where this temple is supposed to be. Your ships are both functional enough to take you to the surface and land. It's clear that this planet is uninhabited. There's no, like, cityscape or anything that you can see from the surface. There's no system. Your scanners immediately can tell there's no... Huh? The moon.
Yeah.
Yes, the moon.
Sorry, you said
Verxigin,
planet,
sorry.
and I was like-
Verxigin is the moon.
I got
The
you.
planet is a gas giant. It clearly has no life on it. And no, like, but I mean, this is Star Wars. There's no, like, gas mining operation here, too. This is, like, a abnormally hot, solarly active gas giant. So it has a huge gravitational
It's
pull
weird, yeah.
and shoots jets of flame out of it. Like, it is horrifying to be near, as you just saw.
Thank God I have those ranks in piloting. Holy crap.
And with that, you guys hovering around the moon, I think that's where we're going to stop this episode of Artifacts of the Grey. Next time, on to Verxigin and to this lost, strange temple.
Hell yeah.
Next time,
Good work,
I get
everybody.
to start the round with a whole bunch of mechanics checks and try and get these ships back into a shape to get us out of here.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you in the next one.